Good way to look at this will give you a sense of what you're shooting for and what you're actually accomplishing with that venting. So here is an absolute statement of an absolute law. Your vibration is right where you last left it. So let's say that you've been noticing some sort of abuse, something that you feel resentful about. Whether it's a long-term relationship or something that's just happening, you are the attractor of it, and it manifested in this moment because of what's going on vibrationally, because what happens when it happens is always a perfect match to what's going on vibrationally. There is never an exception to that. So when you remind yourself that, first of all, it's a manifested reflection of what's going on vibrationally, and that as it's happening, that it's an active vibration, and that what you do now is going to activate it further or lesser. In other words, you're either going to activate it more or you're going to activate something else. Now, you may have heard us say, because we've been saying this for a while, there's no way to deactivate something, but you can de-emphasize something by focusing somewhere else. And because every subject is really two subjects, what isn't wanted and what's wanted, or what's wanted and the lack of it, then you have this range in which you can focus. So if it's built up and your point of attraction is such that now you have manifested a moment where it's come to a crescendo and you feel like now speaking about it isn't making it less, it's making it more. And this is the word that you want to tack onto that. Speaking about it does not make it less specific, it makes it more specific. And the more specific something unwanted is, the worse it feels. The more specific something wanted is, the better it feels. However, in knowing what you don't want, you launch rockets about what you do want. So there's no losing in this, because in your venting, even though you're practicing what you don't want and making what you don't want more specific, hear this, you're making what you do want more specific too. And the source within you is reveling in the clarity. In other words, when you say, I want to stand up for myself and be a man, or I'm mad at myself when I don't, well, that's precisely what this contrasting stuff does. It helps you to proclaim what you want, to define what you want. And there's always value in knowing what you want. So the question is, did this venting, was it more about what you do want, or was it more about what you don't want? And if it was more about what you do want, hey, I want respect. I want things to go well for me. I want us to have a good communication. I want us to be loving of one another. I want us to feel good. Well, it sounds like you're venting about what you don't want. You may very well be venting about what you do want. And you have to know by the way you feel. In other words, what was this manifestation about? Was this the opportunity? Maybe this is something you've been thinking about for a while, and maybe this person is in a receptive mode, and maybe that's why the inspiration came right here, right now, to have this conversation. In other words, you have to trust the way you feel. If it felt better, it was better. If you feel relief, then it was better. Now, having said all of that, and we know you heard it in the spirit in which it was given, but it is also possible that in that venting, you're just justifying where you stand more. You're just digging in and justifying more. And so if you feel that that's what's going on, and you can tell whether you're feeling relief or whether you're getting more aggravated and animated and agitated, as you get more and more specific, stop and say to yourself, we don't mean stop, we mean focus, and say to yourself, I think this is a good time for me to go general, because in my specifics, I'm aggravating a resistant vibration. And more important, I'm practicing a resistant vibration. And more important, I'm becoming a more resistant vibration that's depriving me of what I really want. That's really the main issue here. I'm using this as my excuse to not allow myself the emotional manifestation of being who I am. You see, let's just say this. This is so important. Listen. Ooh. When you feel negative emotion, that's a manifestation that's indicating your deprivation of the thing that matters to you most, which is your alignment and your allowing of the source to be present here and now. In other words, did you hear that? You did hear that, because we've been moving in the direction of that all morning here. If you're powerful now, where your manifested emotion is happening, if it's a negative emotion, Isn't that a wonderful awareness? Aren't you glad that you are aware of this manifestation? I thought I was mad at that person who evoked this venting from me and reminded me of this resentment that I've been carrying around for a while. But what's really happening here is this is a manifested moment in time where I'm doing that thing I do where I deprive myself of my own inner being. That's all it is. I'm not letting the fullness of who I am be here, and that's why I want to shout about it. Yeah. And it's your fault.
Yeah.
Well, so as you get your brain wrapped around this emotional manifestation in the moment. So now I'm aware that I'm using whatever this is as my excuse to deprive myself of the only thing I want, which is the fullness of the clarity and the love and the vitality and the wellness. That's what I want in this manifested moment. I want all of me here and now, all of me to play with you, all of me to behold you, all of me to appreciate you, all of me to be appreciated by you. I want all of me here in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Don't you love the feeling of this? I want all of me to be here, and I'm pinching a good part of me off because of some ridiculous reason. So what can I do about it? Oh, I'll just appreciate. No, I can't appreciate it. I'm too far gone. Right here, right now. But I can go more general. So right away, I stop and say, this really isn't about you. It really isn't about what I think it's about. It's about something else. It's about me learning about my emotions. It's about me getting it, that I can allow all of me here and now. Whew. It's about me being who I am. It's about me feeling good. I can feel good no matter what. It isn't about that at all. It's about emotion. It's not even about my body. It's not even about my health. It's not even about my bank account. It's only about my emotion over which I have control by just going general. Let's see. How general can I go? Well, law of attraction. There is law of attraction. I do believe law of attraction exists. I do believe that I'm more than just this. I do believe that there is a potential partner for me to rendezvous with. And I do believe, and I know I've rendezvoused there many times. I feel good a lot of the time. I mostly do feel good. I don't have nearly as many issues as I've once had. It's getting better and better for me. My life is magnificent. I'm living a really wonderful life. I'm making more of this than I need to. I don't need to wrestle it to the ground. I don't need to even figure out the dynamics of it. All I have to do is ascertain, as I've just done, that I'd rather feel good than bad. That's all I had to do. And this moment helped me do that. I'd rather feel good than bad. And I know that I can in time, maybe even right now. Don't have to figure it out now. It all works its way out. Things are getting better and better. I like learning this stuff. I like being the emotional being that I am. Everything's all right. I don't even know what I was upset about. I don't even know for sure what it was about. It seems irrelevant. It seems unnecessary. It seems unimportant. Emotion is all there is. Emotion is all that matters. Emotion matters more than money in the bank. Emotion matters more than my physical condition. Emotion matters more than the person in my bed, more than my sexual partners, more than my relationships. Emotion, emotion, emotion. It's emotion. I am a manifester of emotion I am a manifester of my emotion, which means I'm a manifester of the connection between me and me, which means I can allow anytime I choose with enough focus and willingness the full-blown me to be present here and now. Ooh, don't you love knowing that? So it's just a matter of practicing. So appreciate when you can. That's what milking the vortex is, and practicing the vibration of being in there, which means you'll be in there more and more and more. Or go general when you're not. And venting about what's bothering you is the opposite of going general. Yes. It's going specific.
One more distinction.
Only go specific when you're in the vortex.
Okay.
And then read these brilliant colors. Get in there, read the backside of them. If it makes you feel better, it's a valid tool.
Right.
But it's worth identifying why it makes me feel better. And we explained that if it makes you feel better, it's because you are focused upon what you want. I don't want that. I do want this. And talking about what you do want always feels better. It's just that most people aren't that clean about it. When you're in the throes of knowing what you don't want, usually there's so much resistance in there that even though you're trying to use the words about what you do want, you're really pushing against what you don't want. And so All of that falls into the step 1 category. It's the sifting through the contrast and identifying what I want, even though right now I'm not allowing myself to be in the vibrational range of what it is I do want. But the bottom line is, you can't get it wrong. In other words, we would not want our friend to get in that happy, meditative place and just stay there. We want him out in the world. We want him having exposure to life. We want life to sharpen his awareness of what he wants. And then we want him to find the emotion of it before the manifestation of it can reveal itself to him. It's such a simple process. It's so simple that it must make you crazy to hear us tell you how simple it is. But if you can hear this piece today, if you can really get it, that the manifestation that you're reaching for is the manifestation of resonance, it's the manifestation of alignment, then you get the fun of the manifestation of the fairies of the universe delivering this and this and this and this and this and this. In other words, manifestation is happening all around you. But when you are connected to this stream, when you are in full resonance with this, you are many, many, many times more influential and powerful than when you are not. So if you hear it, and we've explained it to you over time in so many different ways, to try to get you to first feel the reality of that part of you, and next develop a conscious eagerness to resonate with it. And we began today by saying, you're just not you unless you're vital and alive and frisky and feeling wonderful. That's how you want to feel. That's how you want to feel. You want to get together with a group of friends, and you want them to, each and every one of them, be so brilliant and have such good timing that everything that comes out of everyone's mouth makes everybody else want to applaud and listen more. In other words, you've been in those settings where the one-liners are just coming out and everybody's funny, and you just can't laugh hard enough, you can't have enough fun, and you just love every single one of them because of what they're adding to the mix, and you just know that there's a divine intervention that's taking place. It's like one masterful mind is all involved with you. When you say to us that you find us humorous and our timing good, of course it is. Of course it is, because we're in the vortex where all the good stuff is. It's our orientation. We never feel bad, you see. We're always in a good mood. The other day, Luke, he's 5, grandson, is eating a cupcake on the table. And he didn't get a plate before he ate it. And so the potential for a great mess was in the works. But he realized it, so he got a very small little Kleenex and laid it out and put his cupcake on it, which was treacherous because you can hardly contain the crumbs on a Kleenex. But he was managing. But the potential for a mess was really extreme. And his mother was watching him and feeling irritation that he had not taken the proper precautions and that there was probably going to be a mess. And so she said to him, Luke, how are you going to get that Kleenex to the trash can without making a big mess? And he said, with all of the alignment and fun and humor that source was flowing through him in the moment, in his most carefully designed accent that his mother had never heard before, very carefully. There was nothing that she could do that was going to take him out of alignment. The cupcake and he were one. And source was flowing with him. In other words, when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, it doesn't matter what you bump up against. It doesn't matter where anybody else is. When you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you have source within you, then you have one mission and one mission only, to stay in the vortex and to help anyone who comes anywhere near you into. A book of positive aspects is wonderful if you're in the vicinity, just like appreciation is wonderful if you're in the vicinity. And of course, that's your objective. And the more you're there, the more you stay there and the easier it is to get there. But just going general, it really is the key. It's giving yourself a break, giving yourself permission to own this negative emotion. It's like, rather than denying the manifestation of negative emotion, say, I embrace this manifestation of negative emotion. This is a manifestation of my guidance system showing me the degree to which I'm allowing who I am to play in this game right here and now. And if I've got an issue, you know what your issue is? I'm not playing with my inner being. You know what your issue is? I've pinched off the fullest part of me and I don't feel good. That's always what the issue is. The issue isn't you betrayed me or you did wrong or I don't like what I'm seeing. The issue is always I'm looking at this through partial eyes, and it's only full eyes that feel good.